her own, found guilty of murder, tearful in court as the shooting victim's mother puts her arms in the air. Major new developments at this hour in the impeachment inquiry, that phone call between President Trump and the president of Ukraine. Now we learn Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was on the call too. And the breaking headline just in tonight. The violent images coming in from Hong Kong this evening. For the first time, an officer firing his gun at a protester, wounding him in the chest. Riot police clashing with pro-democracy demonstrators. The tornado watches here at home across several states at this hour, and the record-breaking heat coming to the east tomorrow. Ginger times this out. Searching for swimmers missing off a New York City beach tonight. The frightening scene on home surveillance. A woman banging on a neighbor's door for help. A man seen dragging her away by her hair as she screams. Tonight, where they found her alive. Alarming video this evening in New York City. A visitor climbing into the lion's den, appearing to taunt the lion. Hillary Clinton on GMA is asked today what's the gutsiest thing she's ever done, and her eye-opening answer about her marriage. And Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan suing a British tabloid, and tonight the stunning letter. What he says about his mother, Princess Diana, and now his fear for Meghan.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with the guilty verdict in a Dallas courtroom. A former police officer convicted of murder in the shooting death of her neighbor after entering his apartment. She had said she thought it was her own. The judge reading Amber Guyger's verdict aloud, the jury swiftly reaching a unanimous decision. The mother of the shooting victim then raising her arms. She had been asking for justice. The former officer, Amber Guyger, weeping quietly, sitting alone in court. ABC's Marcus Moore leads us off now from Dallas tonight.
It took the jury less than 5 hours to reach a decision.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Amber Guyger, guilty of murder.
A burst of emotion following the swift guilty verdict. Botham Jean's mother throwing her hands in the air. For her, a moment of victory in the face of a deep loss. Amber Guyger, a former Dallas police officer, holding a tissue, her head dipping slightly, and one officer appearing to console her afterwards. Outside the courtroom, cheers and applause.
This is a huge victory, not only for the family of Botham Jean, but as his mother, Allison, told me a moment ago, this is a victory for black people in America.
The diverse jury, made up of men and women of different ethnicities, had three choices. Murder, meaning Amber Guyger, who testified she thought it was her apartment, in fact intended to kill Botham Jean seconds after she walked through his door. Manslaughter, that she acted recklessly when she pulled the trigger, or acquittal. Prosecutors said Jean was sitting on the couch eating ice cream and watching TV when Guyger walked in.
He was yelling, "Hey, hey, hey," and I yelled at him. It's like, "Let me see your hands, let me see your hands."
A key moment in the week-long trial where Guyger wept at times may have hinged on whether she gave verbal commands to Jean that night.
One of them heard you say that.
I can't tell you why.
Well, it's because you didn't say it.
The jury also unmoved by a late curveball from the judge, an instruction allowing them to consider the Castle Doctrine. The defense pushing throughout the trial that because Guyger thought she was in her own home, she was allowed to defend it. Tonight, the sentencing phase already underway.
I cannot sleep. I cannot eat. It's just been the most terrible time for me.
Marcus Moore with us live from Dallas again tonight. You've been following the case since the beginning. And Marcus, that former officer facing now between 5 and 99 years behind bars?
Yeah, David, the jury has a wide range of time from which to choose, and they will consider everything from Guyger's work history to text messages that some are describing as racially insensitive that were just entered into evidence late today, along with character witnesses, people who will testify in Guyger's support. This phase of the trial could last several more days. David.
Marcus Moore leading us off tonight. Thank you. There are also major developments tonight in the impeachment inquiry. We learned today that Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was also on that phone call with President Trump and the president of Ukraine. The Secretary of State Pompeo said he did not know much about the whistleblower's complaint about that call in an interview with our Martha Raddatz just days before it was made public. Tonight, the Secretary of State himself now drawn into this investigation and trying to block colleagues from the State Department from testifying. Democrats warn that would be obstruction. And here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo traveling in Italy dodged questions today about whether he was on the call that triggered an impeachment inquiry.
Mr. Secretary, do you have any comment on reports you're on the July 25th call with President Zelensky?
In that call, President Trump asked President Zelensky of Ukraine to, quote, do us a favor and investigate a debunked conspiracy theory about Democrats. He also asked Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden and his son Hunter. At the time, the U.S. was withholding nearly $400 million in military aid to Ukraine. The call was the focus of the whistleblower complaint alleging abuse of power by the president. But just a week ago, in an interview with ABC News, Secretary Pompeo was evasive when asked about the call.
What do you know about those conversations?
So you just gave me a report about a IC whistleblower complaint, none of which I've seen.
4 days later, when the whistleblower complaint was made public, Pompeo suggested he was still in the dark.
I haven't had a chance to actually read the whistleblower complaint yet.
But ABC News has confirmed Pompeo was in fact listening in on the president's call with Ukraine. That call was only part of the whistleblower's complaint. He also alleges the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, was engaging in talks with Ukrainian officials and that State Department officials were trying to, quote, contain the damage to national security. House Democrats have demanded to question 5 current and former State Department officials this week. But today, Pompeo rebuffed the request, at least for now, calling it an attempt to intimidate, bully, and treat improperly the distinguished professionals of the Department of State. Democrats say that amounts to obstruction, calling on the Secretary of State to immediately cease intimidating department witnesses in order to protect himself and the president.
To the best of my knowledge, from what I've seen so far, each of the actions that were undertaken by State Department officials was entirely appropriate.
Tonight, many questions remain unanswered. Giuliani has insisted everything he did was at the behest of Mike Pompeo's State Department.
I have uncovered corruption that this Washington swamp has been covering up effectively for years. And his State Department, asked me to do this.
House Democrats say they will also likely want Giuliani to testify. Will he agree to it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm weighing the alternatives. I'll kind of like go through it. I'll get all my evidence together. I'll get my charts. I don't know if they let me use videotapes and tape recordings that I have.
John Carl live at the White House tonight. John, we do know tonight that Rudy Giuliani has hired a lawyer of his own, a former Watergate prosecutor. And John, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, as I mentioned, trying to block House Democrats from speaking with current and former State Department officials. But tonight, you're now learning one of those officials has decided he will sit down with lawmakers this week.
One of them, a former official, his name is Kurt Volker. He was the State Department's envoy to Ukraine. He is an ambassador. He resigned last week shortly after the whistleblower complaint was made public. And David, tonight we are learning of a new development. ABC News has learned that the State Department's internal watchdog will be on Capitol Hill tomorrow, giving what has been described by sources, an urgent briefing related to the Ukraine matter to House and Senate staff on Capitol Hill.
Several fast-moving developments. You'll follow it again tomorrow for us. Thank you, John. President Trump, meanwhile, tweeting that he is entitled to interview the whistleblower while also dismissing that person's complaint as secondhand information, even though the transcript of the phone call made public by the White House mirrors much of the complaint. And tonight, a leading Republican saying the whistleblower should be protected. Here's our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, now.
President Trump today said not only is he entitled to know the whistleblower's identity, he now also wants to interview the person. The president tweeting, "Why aren't we entitled to interview and learn everything about the whistleblower and also the person who gave all the false information to him?" The president has been steadily turning up the heat.
Mr. President, do you now know who the whistleblower is, sir?
Well, we're trying to find out about a whistleblower. When you have a whistleblower that reports things that were incorrect.
But today, a public rebuke from Iowa's Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, who defended the whistleblower, saying this person appears to have followed the whistleblower protection laws and ought to be heard out and protected. Uninformed speculation is counterproductive and doesn't serve the country. The president and his allies have attacked the whistleblower's credibility, claiming the person relied on secondhand information.
The entire whistleblower complaint is based on hearsay.
But the intelligence community's inspector general, who was appointed by President Trump, says that is not true. He says the whistleblower filed the complaint claiming to have personal and/or direct knowledge of events or records involved, in addition to information from other people. The Inspector General says that's one of the reasons he found the complaint credible. And indeed, the whistleblower's own description of that conversation between President Trump and the president of Ukraine matches the record of the call released by the White House.
And Cecilia, you've reported the whistleblower's lawyer has said the president's words are putting his client at risk.
Yeah, David, they say they have serious concerns for their client's personal safety. House investigators, have reached a deal to meet with this whistleblower, as Democrats say they want to take every precaution to protect the person's identity. A date for this meeting has not yet been set, David.
All right, Cecilia Vega, our thanks to you again tonight. And this evening, much of the East is now bracing for record-breaking heat tomorrow. Record highs are possible from North Carolina all the way up to New York. That heat ahead of a line of storms and tornado watches tonight. Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee tracking it all again tonight for us. Hey, Ginger.
Hey, David, dozens of cities have reached their hottest September on record, from Dallas to Dayton. It includes Indianapolis and New Orleans, who, by the way, both had their hottest October temperatures ever on record today. So the numbers just keep growing, and they're going to stick with us tomorrow. 98 Nashville, 95 Baltimore, but it is winter-like behind that front. We focus on the Northeast because tomorrow that's where the heat focus is. It's 98 for Richmond. I think Philadelphia could break a record at 93. Let's go ahead and see what's happening along that front, because it's tornadic already. Tornado warnings have been popping from Kansas to Iowa. Flash flood watches from Michigan back to New Mexico. This front, as it slows down, could squeeze out 2 to 4 inches of rain. David.
A nation of extremes tonight, Ginger. Thank you. To the alarming images coming in from Hong Kong this evening, pro-democracy demonstrators clashing with police, and today for the first time, riot police shooting at a protester, hitting him in the chest, wounding him. ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell is right there.
Tonight, anger boiling over as protesters in Hong Kong marked China's 70-year communist milestone with Molotov cocktails and face-to-face combat with police. The clashes spilling into neighborhoods across the city.
Police have suddenly opened fire with rubber bullets, tear gas, and a water cannon that's laced with pepper spray.
Some on the streets clubbed violently in broad daylight by multiple riot police. Some officers beaten in return. Police blooded, appearing to lose control. Massively outnumbered at times. This officer firing at point-blank range, hitting a teenage protester straight in the chest. It marks the first time since this 4-month struggle began that a protester has been shot with live ammunition.
There's scenes of violence here on the street, petrol bombs being thrown, the police replying with tear gas. They've even fired live rounds into the air.
The citizens of this Chinese territory were told not to march today, but they came out in droves. Tonight, 25 officers recovering from injuries, more than 180 protesters arrested, and millions in this city now wondering how this ends.
President Trump tweeted his congratulations to China today on its 70th anniversary, but he made no mention of Hong Kong. But the gulf between some of the people and the police is now so dangerously wide here, it's going to be hard to ignore. David?
Ian Pannell in Hong Kong again for us. Thank you. Next tonight, the alleged kidnapping at a front door in California. Home surveillance showing a woman banging on a neighbor's door, pleading for help. Police say her estranged boyfriend is then seen dragging her away by her hair. They studied that video and where they rescued her. Here's ABC's Kayna Whitworth.
Tonight, the man in this video is behind bars. The terrifying attack captured on a neighbor's doorbell camera. Police say the woman was running from her estranged boyfriend. She's kicking and screaming as the man grabs her hair, violently drags her away, and threatens to kill her. It happened in this neighborhood in Arcadia, California, just before midnight Sunday. Police got the video on Monday and moved in, rescuing the woman and arresting 27-year-old Robert Michael Mendez, who police say was holding the woman against her will in his home. The video was turned over to police by the homeowner in this case, but the company Ring has video sharing relationships with more than 400 police departments across the country, what they call the new Neighborhood Watch. And David, Mendez was booked on charges including attempted murder, kidnapping, and false imprisonment. The woman was so badly hurt, she had to be taken to the hospital. David?
Kayna Whitworth, thank you. Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan are suing a British tabloid tonight for publishing a private letter that the paper claimed Meghan wrote to her father after he missed the wedding. Prince Harry and his words